Namaste, a very good day to all of you. This is Professor Ajeet Jaiswal, Head Department of Anthropology. Today I am going to start a lecture series on Indigenous Knowledge System from the Earth for the Future. Before starting the main content of the lecture, let me give you a glimpse of idea or a brief information of this complete lecture series that contain around more than 250 lectures. We all know that Indigenous Knowledge System is a diverse, very great branch of analysis. Indigenous Knowledge System from the Earth for the Future is a groundbreaking exploration of the diverse and profound wisdom held within indigenous community worldwide. This comprehensive lecture series offer an in-depth examination of indigenous knowledge system and their relevance in shaping a sustainable future. The lecture series begins by describing the fundamental concept of indigenous knowledge system, providing readers with a series of understanding of this traditional knowledge systems and their integral role in indigenous culture. From there, it deals into the intricate information of indigenous knowledge in India, highlighting the rich diversity of indigenous practices across the subcontinent. One of the central themes explored in the lecture series is the scope of indigenous knowledge system in the Indian context, which is a very important part of our new national education policy. Readers will gain insight into the multifaceted dimension of indigenous knowledge, from the environmental stewardship to healthcare practices and their contemporary relevance in addressing pressing global challenges. A significant portion of the lecture series is dedicated to exploring indigenous culture, providing light on symbiotic relationship between the traditional knowledge system and the cultural identity. Furthermore, the lecture examines the challenges faced by indigenous knowledge system in the modern world, because we have seen this is the era where we find the existence of multi-dimensional primitive, medieval and modern world existing together, and the ongoing effort to preserve and promote these invaluable repositories of wisdom. So in the realm of healthcare sector concern, the lecture series deals into indigenous health and healing, uncovering traditional practices that promote holistic well-being and resilience. Readers will gain insight into indigenous and traditional concept of health, well-being, disease, illness and cure, as well as the vital role of traditional medicine practitioner, ethnobotany and medicinal plant. The lecture series also provides a comprehensive overview of Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha and folk medicine, showcasing the sophistication and efficacy of traditional healing modalities. Moreover, it explores indigenous technologies, highlighting the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the indigenous communities in adapting to their environment. In the era of escalating environmental crisis, where we have seen a series of environmental problems are there, the lecture series underscored the crucial role of indigenous knowledge in environmental conservation and sustainable development. It also examines how traditional ecological knowledge inform modern approaches to environmental stewardship and resilience building. Finally, the lecture series celebrates indigenous tangible heritage, showcasing the cultural treasures and intangible legacies preserved within the indigenous communities, or we can say through captivating narratives and insightful analysis. Indigenous knowledge system from the Earth for the Future offer reader a profound appreciation for the enduring wisdom of indigenous people and the urgent need to harness their knowledge for the betterment of humanities and the planet. So this lecture series contains almost more than 250 video lecture series, and will start describing each and every one by one. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about indigenous knowledge system, their introductory concept, ecological knowledge, traditional medicine, agricultural practices, cultural practices and rituals, navigational skill, governance and social organization. We'll also discuss about the brief history of indigenous knowledge systems, where we give preference toward the prehistoric origin, colonial encounters, and resilience. Along with this, we will also discuss about the global recognitions and their challenges and opportunities. So these are the main content of the first introductory lecture. So now let's discuss what is indigenous knowledge system. The indigenous knowledge systems or indigenous knowledge, it refers to the cumulative body of knowledge, practices and belief that are developed and transmitted orally over generation within the indigenous communities. This knowledge is deeply rooted in the cultural, spiritual and historical content of indigenous people and is very closely tied to their relationship with the environment, communities and the traditional way of life. It encompasses a wide range of domains including ecology, agriculture, medicine, navigation, governance and cultural practices. Indigenous knowledge is characterized by its holistic, content-specific and sustainable approach to understanding and integrating with the natural world. Indigenous knowledge refers to the cumulative body of knowledge, practice and belief developed by indigenous community over generation through lived experience, through observation and interaction with their environment. This knowledge is deeply rooted in the cultural, spiritual and historical content of indigenous people and is transmitted orally from elders to younger generation. This indigenous knowledge encompasses a wide range of domain. As I told you, it includes not confined to ecological knowledge, but also about the traditional and agricultural practices. When we discuss about ecological knowledge, indigenous people have a profound understanding of their local ecosystem, including plant, animal, and natural phenomena. This knowledge often involves sustainable land management practices, biodiversity conservation technique, and weather prediction method. You must have seen. Even when we discuss about traditional medicine, indigenous community have developed intricate system of traditional medicine based on the use of plant, animal and minerals. These medicinal practices are often intertwined with the spiritual belief and holistic approach to health and healing. Even when we try to understand the agricultural practices, indigenous agricultural techniques are tailored to local environment and often involve diverse cropping systems, diverse soil conservation methods, and water management strategies. These practices are characterized by their resilience, their adaptability, and their sustainability. Similarly, when we try to understand from the cultural practice and rituals point of view, indigenous knowledge encompasses a wide information of cultural practices, their rituals, their ceremonies, and their storytelling tradition that serve to preserve cultural heritage, reinforce social cohesion, and transmit important knowledge and value from one generation to the next. Similarly, when we try to understand the navigational skill, many indigenous society have developed sophisticated navigational skill for traversing land and sea. This skill rely on a deep understanding of celestial bodies, natural landmarks, weather pattern and other environmental cusps. Similarly, when we try to understand the governance and social organization, indigenous knowledge often includes system of governance, decision-making processes, and social organization that reflect the value, norms, and priorities of indigenous communities. These systems are often based on the principle of consensus building, reciprocity, and respect for elders and community leaders. Similarly, at last, we may say that indigenous knowledge is not static. It evolves and adopt over time in response to changing environmental, social, and cultural context. However, it is also vulnerable to erosion and loss due to the factors such as colonization, globalization, and environmental degradation. Recognizing, respecting, and preserving indigenous knowledge is essentially not only for cultural preservation but also for promoting sustainable development, fostering intercultural dialogue, and addressing global challenges such as climate change and biodiversity loss, which is a matter of discussion and matter of survival for all of us. So this is the important point of the first lecture. Thank you. Thank you so much.